Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday morning, October 2nd. AJ and I here with the Cup of Sports podcast. Good morning, AJ.
Morning, how are you?
Doing well.
Good.
In all truthfulness, of course, we're recording this the night before, so we are enjoying Tuesday night's games right now. But yeah, like I said, we mentioned this before, but we finally got kind of a rhythm down, some cadence. So these Wednesday episodes are going to be our smorgasbord of everything non NFL, basically. Monday morning, Sunday night episode is what really takes up the Sunday recap, and then Thursday night lives. We have fun kind of previewing the weekend. So this Tuesday night episode that we record for Wednesday morning is kind of everything else we get to pile in for the week. So kind of a all over the place episode here that we just scripted out a little bit for you.
Absolutely. We'll jump right into it. Monday night recap. Game 1, Tennessee Titans 31, Miami Dolphins 12.
If you want to call that game one.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first game to come on, let's say
Yeah,
that.
the practice NFL game for Monday
Yeah,
night. Yeah, that was rough to watch.
it was. You could argue that it was fairly high scoring, but it was.
The wrong way that everybody thought, though. Honestly, getting Tyler Huntley, I think getting him in there, like everyone just had a little bit of high hopes. Like, I know it was a new
Yeah,
system, and it wasn't going to be pretty, but the Titans have not looked good this year. So you
yeah,
really thought that that was going to be a not even a get right game for Miami, but if you want any chance of salvaging this season, get this game out of the way, win,
yes.
and now they're in a rough looking spot. 1-3 is tough to be on a team that was supposed to be high in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
No, absolutely. And even just looking over the stats, like each team had a turnover, but Tennessee 244 yards, Miami 184 yards, like time of possession 34 to 25. It's just a, a boring game.
it was. I was so excited for the second game to start, and this is one where I did the split. Joe and I, the oldest for anybody that doesn't know, oldest son of mine, was watching with me and was like, "Can we do the same with the four TVs?" And I was like, "There's only two games on right now," and I was like, "Yeah, we should do two games though." I put it on, and right away I was like, "Why do I even have the game on the left? Like I'm wasting screen space for Lions Seahawks." The moment that game starts, I'm putting it on full screen. I was like, I can just check updates on the Dolphins game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're a fan of kicking, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven,
A lot.
seven field goals, and two extra points. So,
Yeah, it
or
was a
three
rough
extra
night.
points. So,
That's it. Yeah, and I think we were hyped for Huntley, and
and
it was
10
14 for
kicks.
22 and less than 100 yards. Like it was just no one got it going.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he had 8 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, when your leading receivers have 31 yards and 36 yards, uh, I don't know what to say. I
Yeah,
think we kind of said it.
yeah,
Two
rough
bad
start.
teams. Uh,
Yeah,
I would argue the Titans got lucky in bringing Mason Rudolph in. Just one of those you you prepare. You see those a lot when backups come in, especially so early like he did. That it's just the team show up for that backup, and the other team wasn't prepared for that quarterback, and they play well and they win. I think that's
hashtag
what
Andy
happened here.
Dalton and the Panthers were whooping the Raiders ass. Like yeah,
Yeah,
things like that don't happen by accident. And it's all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, this is a different game entirely. You switch out the
yeah,
quarterback position, you're a new team.
yes,
You're a new team. Like there's a lot of teams out there that are a quarterback away from a championship. They're
yeah,
legitimate teams, but they literally could go 4-13 every year because they're just ass and they don't have anybody to really run it and get the line bought in, and the line isn't going to block anyone if they don't think it's worthwhile. Like what are they busting their ass for if you're not going to do anything back there?
yeah,
So, but yes, yeah, that was a rough one to watch. But then getting on to the exciting ones, yeah, Titans win
right,
31-12. Both teams fall to 1-3. But on to the exciting game on the opposite end of that record. Both teams
absolutely.
are now 3-1. Lions get the dub 42-29 over the Seahawks.
Yeah, Seahawks. They played. This is one of those games where I personally believe the Seahawks outplayed them, but
Yeah.
your two turnovers, that's the game.
Yep.
I've mentioned this a time or two. Two turnovers to zero turnovers, and I'm gonna say 90% of the time lost that game. And I'll let you take over while I look up the actual stat.
Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to say. I was just gonna make a joke with that. Is that when we say it's probably like this, we are heavy on the probably. When we
Yeah.
make up a stat, we mean that literally that we made it up. But yeah, no, DK Metcalf did DK Metcalf things, which was sweet to watch. I want to say Montgomery. I watched that run by Montgomery, and it was like a beast mode run almost. Like I don't want to give it too much credit if unless it wasn't that run, but there was one unless it was a catch maybe that he had. It was something. Yeah, I think it was his 40-yard catch for something. It was I think it was the 40-yard catch. But yeah, he was just throwing people off of him left and right, and like it was so sweet to see. But yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing really jumps out at you. I mean, Jared Goff 18 for 18, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns definitely jumps out. So like he had a near
Yeah.
perfect game, and Dan
Had
Campbell
a
after the
perfect game.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
Dan Campbell after. I mean, you don't want to get sacked, but it's fine. Not his fault, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dan Campbell after the game had given the game ball to someone else and said, "I wish I would have given it to him. I didn't realize he was 18 for 18." So, but yeah, Geno
Yeah.
Smith 395 yards and a touchdown. But like you
Yeah.
said, the turnovers just ended up costing them. They were down big early. Not too big, but they just kind of put themselves in a hole and couldn't get back there in the fourth quarter. And so this was like we had talked about. I think the Seahawks. I think they're for real. I like the 3-0 wasn't an accident, but like going 4-0 makes a statement. And so yeah, I think that puts
Yeah.
the Lions at a good spot at 3-1, puts the Seahawks at a good spot at 3-1, and both teams are sitting where they should be.
I agree. I cannot find that stat. Unfortunately, we don't have a stat guy yet. Not big enough.
Not big enough. Not a live stat
Um,
guy.
yeah. It just back and forth all game. Um, you know, scored. I don't. The score doesn't reflect as close as the game felt. So
Right.
that's fair to
True.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah. It felt like it
But
was a
both
it felt like
teams
it was a
come out
field goal
three
game.
and one. Um, and I think Detroit's black uniforms were dope.
Yes.
And B,
And
we talked about
Baltimore's.
yeah,
I know that's off day, but
yeah, and we talked about it. It was just that game you kind of had to have if you're Detroit. You gotta stick with Minnesota. They're 4-0. You gotta get this win
yeah,
at
going to two
home.
and two, yeah,
Yeah,
puts you
the
in
teams.
Packers territory,
Yeah,
Bears
teams from across the
territory.
country. Like you just had to have this win, and
Yep.
to their credit, they went out and balled out.
Yep. Yeah,
They
that was
they did
definitely a
everything they
solid
needed to
Monday
do.
night game though.
Yeah,
I hate whenever it's a really good Monday night game almost though because then I'm dead. Tuesday, Wednesday, like just give me football. Like
but
today's Tuesday, we have two almost full days until football's on. Like that's disrespectful. I don't like that, but it's fine, I guess.
yeah, yeah. We're not even at that point of the schedule or year yet where college football has uh, games on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah, it kind of spreads it out a little bit.
Yeah,
That's true too.
they're
This is like
still they're still
my first year
Thursdays.
diving into college, so yeah, it's my
It's
first year to
always it's
experience.
always
It's
like a D
yeah.
two FCS team, but still, at least
I'll
it's something.
I'll bet on middle school
Um,
badminton if I have to.
at least for now, we'll move into what we do have the rest of this week. MLB playoffs started. Uh,
Sure.
for those of you who are baseball fans, I don't think Dane even probably knows about this, but that doubleheader yesterday was wild. Um, Braves Mets battling to get in the playoffs. Braves trying to keep them out. Um, you know, games going back and forth. So the Mets did split 1-1 and did make the playoffs. And then both teams had to go on the road and play today.
So
So
if the
if the Braves would have won both games, the
Braves
Mets did not make the playoffs.
and the Braves would have had a better seating, and instead they.
I don't think they would have still been the fifth seed. I'm fairly
Oh,
confident.
okay. So it was just whether or not they were sending another team home. It was just a battle
Correct.
flat. I did get to see a live reaction of the one guy on Barstool that got to watch it, and he like was losing his mind over the Mets. I guess they were down and then came
Yes.
back, and then like it was a back and forth. It was like Georgia Alabama game where it was like this back and forth. You think it's over, then there's another score, and it just kind of kept going back and forth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then tonight we had what, 4 games?
yep, all four
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. So all 4 of the wild card games kicked off. Their best of 3 series.
Yep.
So I think it started with the Mets actually traveling to Milwaukee, take on the Brewers, um, and the Mets won that game. To their credit, you know, warm up game yesterday, I guess, and then
Yeah. Anyway, getting the blood flowing.
Yeah, Kansas City went and beat Baltimore 1-0. Detroit beat Houston 3-1, and currently Atlanta is trailing San Diego 3-0.
I think it was bottom of seventh last time I checked too. And
Yeah,
then just
it is.
just mentioning for playoff sake, the Phillies are on a bye, the Dodgers are on a bye, Guardians are on a bye, and the Yankees are on a bye.
Yeah,
And I felt like this was like I read that earlier, and I was like, I need to make sure I have at least something to say about some baseball. And I was like, I'll check out the playoff structure. And I was like, if only the Guardians were replaced by like I don't know, like the Red Sox or something, it would be like almost as if this was a scripted year for them to just be like, here's four teams you're gonna recognize.
yeah,
Like I saw Dodgers, Phillies, Yankees, and I was like, oh my god, I was like, this is catered to me this year. I know
yeah.
these teams. And then it said Guardians, and I was like, all right, I do know that that's the Cleveland Indians. So like I do know that much. And
Yeah, it
I was like,
was.
I'm on board. So knew that much. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I had it on earlier, and then I switched over to WNBA. I just
Yeah,
between baseball and WNBA, I'm gonna lean WNBA. I think every
that's fair.
time, but
Yeah,
yeah, especially until we get later into the season. Like once we start getting into the conference championships and the World Series, like I'm gonna
yeah,
be much more inclined.
I
So
agree. Um, Also, for all of our Phillies fans, I think I speak for the majority of us. Somebody asked me how I feel about the Phillies being pretty much the favorites to win, and I said, "Well, it's Philadelphia, so I'm ready to be let down."
no doubt
Um,
about it. I am
Red
ready to be
October
hurt
is here,
again.
but I'll cheer them on. But I'm ready to be disappointed
If
because
you're a Phillies
we're
fan and you
Philadelphia.
just heard AJ say that, and you also are an Office fan like 90% of us, please send him that clip of Michael Scott. No doubt about it. I'm ready to be hurt again.
Yeah,
Quick question with the MLB playoffs. There's no reseeding, right? The bracket is as
the
is. It
bracket
looks
is
like
the
March
bracket.
Madness.
Yeah.
So like Mets, Brewers bump to the Phillies, Braves,
Yes.
Padres bump to Dodgers.
Correct.
Okay,
So you
cool
could have a heck of a
beans.
series between the Mets and the Phillies. Um,
Yeah,
could be a
and
lot of
then
fun.
Dodgers right after that. It's gonna be
Yeah,
sweet.
Dodgers Padres would be pretty cool just because of locality.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
but yeah, we'll see what happens.
Is Coon your fun story time? People will love this. This is Mark Gambling Degeneracy. One of my gambling groups, I won a Ronald Acuna Jr. white Braves jersey and a Patrick Surtain Alabama jersey. And for me as a Bronco, it was by random, completely random. It was like a 1 in 50 chance, and I won both signed or signed jerseys. Let me add certified signed jerseys, both signed. And so the Pat Surtain one for me as a Broncos fan was sick. I was like, okay, that's lit. But it was an Alabama jersey, and I was like, I just like don't care enough to hang that up to be like, this is my support for him. Like I want
Yeah,
a Broncos jersey. And I also have always been a big proponent of like I need to see them sign it. I don't care if I won it or like we had talked about on the bus for the Eagles game. If I won that, it was going right into another raffle to sell. Like I wasn't keeping it because I didn't
yeah,
get to see anybody sign it. Like I want to hand it to them, watch them sign it, and that's legit to me. All respect to whoever has shit signed. I've got a bunch of shit upstairs signed of people I didn't see sign it that I kept because it's important, but I didn't get to see them. But anyway, so completely just lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? I thought about my Peyton Manning signature. What were we just talking? Oh, the
baseball and Acuna jersey.
I had the Acuna jersey and the Pat Surtain jersey, and so at one point I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sell these two just like together as a package deal. So I look it up. It is Acuna's MVP year, like 4-ish years ago, probably 3-4 years ago. And I look it up on eBay, and they're going. This jersey specifically was the rookie jersey or something like that, like rookie alternative. It's all white, signed with silver pen. Was going for like $800, and I was like, no shit. I had put like $100 into this raffle, so I was like, my money back and then some. Pat Surtain's free. I'm gonna add that in. I'm gonna make like a grand on this. My dumbass waited like 2 weeks, and I'm sitting around one day, and I get a breaking news: Ronald Acuna tears his ACL, out for the rest of the season. And I was like, no, no, no. I jump onto eBay immediately, and I live watching prices just fucking plummet, dude. I ended up selling it to a buddy of mine, both jerseys combined. Whenever he had his little fall off, I was like, just get these out of my face. I'm so sick of seeing it and thinking about what could have been. So I ended up making like $100. But I was like, just take these two and get them out of my face, dude. So yeah, so that was one of those moments where I saw it. I said, damn, I made $800 on a Ronald Acuna jersey, and then I did not.
You did not make the
I did
money.
not. Yeah, I just held on to it a little too long, and then so yeah, I just saw Braves, and I was like, I hope he isn't like balling the hell out because that would kind of suck. But
Yeah.
I mean, all good for him. Hopefully, he came back and he's healthy. But anyway,
Fair enough. You want to move us along to the next sport?
I'm with it. We are jumping. Where are we at? NHL
WNBA.
or WNBA? Oh yeah, I jumped down.
Yeah.
So yeah, so WNBA. We had two games on tonight. We have game twos on currently right now. Connecticut, Minnesota. About in a halftime. Minnesota's up a few. They're in Minneapolis. Um, Solid game so far. We just watched the Liberty go up 2-0 on the Aces.
Yeah, your aces aren't looking
I
too good.
The Aces are not looking too good. Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, not getting it together as much as we thought. I will say I've been watching WNBA for years, like before it was even on easy to find channels and stuff. Like if there wasn't an NBA game on and that was the only thing on, I definitely would watch it. And like I have people that'll
Yeah,
vouch for that. Like have always been. And then Kobe comes out as a big fan of it, and it just backed it up. And I was like, all right, cool. Like I'm glad I'm a fan of that. And now I'm like so sick of like them shoving it down everyone else's throat, trying to be like it's just as good as the NBA, because like it's not. Like if you're
yeah,
not a basketball fan, it's just not as good as the NBA. It's
yeah,
great, fantastic basketball. Where I was going with that was literally sitting down to finally watch some few games over the last few nights is the first time in a couple of years I've been able to do that. And I will say, like, the pace of play is so much faster. Like, they're coming off screens tighter. Like, things look cleaner. Like, it does look more like an NBA like game. Like, it
yeah,
looks faster. Like, it's a much, much better product. Like, I now see why they're pushing so much, like, commercialization of it to, like, get it out there and sell more tickets and fill these buildings and let Caitlyn be Caitlyn and do their thing. Like, it does make sense now. But yeah, for a little while there, I was like, can we give it a rest? But like watching the games tonight, like especially because it's playoff basketball too, like it's intense. Like they're getting into it. Like it's definitely solid watches. But yeah, we're at halftime right now. 36-30 is the lead there.
it's fair enough. Just to mention, that puts the New York Liberty up in the series 2-0, and the Lynx currently lead their series 1-0 over the Sun. So they're also
Nope.
leading at halftime.
Sun are up 1-0 in that one actually.
Oh, you're right. I misread that. I
No, no,
apologize.
no worries. I did
Um,
that too earlier. I think I was looking at the same thing. I literally have my note down here and I scribbled it out because I wrote that same thing. I think I read that same line as you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, so
Um,
yes, I mean yeah, WNBA is looking good and they got good paces in there. That's yeah, and so we have they also I like the schedule. They do all the games same night for the playoffs here for the divisional round. It's best of five series. Game threes are on Friday, game fours are on Sunday, and game fives are on Tuesday. So next Wednesday we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll be able to wrap up like the semifinal round, and let everybody know kind of who's heading into the finals there.
awesome. Moving right along, we'll touch on NASCAR, which plot twists and probably won't surprise many people who know you. You did not watch.
I forgot. I did plan to. I literally forgot. Sunday's about football. I did not have the. Oh shit! It's 2 o'clock. I gotta watch NASCAR. Like my ass woke up and said I gotta watch football all day today.
I thought about even texting you, and I was like, nah, it's
Please
fine.
do text me. Shoot me. Yeah, because
Um,
I'm probably gonna remember this Sunday because I'm pissed that I missed that Sunday. But yeah, shoot
yeah,
me a text and just be like race starts soon because I have multiple TVs. I'm gonna switch one of the TVs just to the race so I can just
yeah,
have it on all day and it's rolling.
yeah.
They keep it playing during commercials, don't they? They like put
For
it
the
up in the
most part,
corner.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
do.
so
They do it
sick.
side by
Yeah,
side for most of
yeah,
it.
good for them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kansas race. Just a quick recap. It was a pretty good race if you're a fan of racing. There's some decent passing. A lot of the playoff drivers had problems at some point. And a non-playoff driver, we talked about this last week, actually won the race. Ross Chastain, the watermelon man, if you will. Um, you all right over there?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. And then this week we have Talladega, which if you're just gonna have the TV on and you're not gonna listen to it, this is the race to do that too, because you'll have pretty much one camera angle that has almost every car on the track in it, so that
Nice.
would be pretty cool. And you don't really have to pay attention until you see a wreck, which is bound to happen at some point, multiple wrecks.
Yeah, see, when my overstimulation is like all the kids yelling and Kaylee talking and my phone going off and the dogs barking and another cat licking themselves, like I want to fucking freak out. But when we're talking like a couple of TVs, NASCAR audio, football audio, I can deal with that. I can just
Yeah,
kind of the audio goes where my eyes are, and like that's like what I can hear. So yeah,
yeah,
because everything else just gets tuned out. So
I get that. But yeah, Talladega should be a good race. They call it a wild card because of everybody racing side by side. There's no real like advantage to being like a top tier team compared to a lower tier team,
I need to see what you mean here, because
and
I
so everybody gets a chance to kind of have a shot at winning.
are you talking about like how wide the track is? Is that what you're saying?
How wide the track is, but also how closely the cars run together.
Why is it different there than anywhere else? Why do they run so like what do you mean? Why do they run so close together there?
So they call them restrictor plate races. They're no longer restricted they no longer run restrictor plates, but that's kind of just a legacy thing. So basically, all the cars run the same speed, and because the track is so wide and high banked, there's no braking or off throttle time. You are basically pedal to the metal for 100 something laps that the race is. Now
So
there's
because of the angle of it, you don't have to brake or anything. You're
exactly,
literally
and
just
they call it
whose calves
drafting.
are stronger.
Yeah, they call it drafting, so it's bump drafting. So like the car behind obviously can go faster because the car in front is braking the air. So then they
Right.
can bump that car to go faster. Um,
And so
so
they're all just zipping around.
yeah, so you literally get a pack of like 30, 35 cars sometimes that are all within 2 seconds of each other
And
because
how
they'll
many
they'll
cars
be
are out
three or
there?
four wide. There will probably be like 36. I haven't looked up the entry list for this race, but there will probably be
Is it
like
always
36 cars.
like roughly mid 30s? That's like how it typically
Yeah,
is
for
for
the
these
most
kind of
part, with the
races.
exception of like Daytona, you'll get 40. 40 is the max, but typically only 36 to 35, 36 cars show up on any given weekend.
Cool. Cool. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at pictures of Talladega. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited. Yeah, definitely text me. Don't forget. If you
okay,
text me, don't text me. I'll be upset.
all right. I will make sure to remind you Sunday.
Cool.
And then moving in, there was a little bit of fighting this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, there was. I wish I wrote his name down. I should have, but I watched the clip 100 times. You and I had just talked about UFC and like kind of how the schedule worked there, and that like the UFC 307, 308, 309, the thing you see the ESPN highlights of
Yeah.
is like their week to week kind of regular season, and then every now and then it's just a bigger fight, and that's like the playoff or whatever. But they don't really have like a playoff structure. It's just the titles, and so there's Super Bowls all year long, pretty much. So but yeah, so I mentioned to you, and I shouldn't have. I ate my words because I was like, yeah, I was like, I mean, every other Saturday they kind of fill it in with these fight night things and like these like fighter series or whatever. And they're just
Yeah.
not a ton of crazy fights. And then I'm scrolling through reels the other day, and I see this highlight, and it is just two dudes of what you want to see in a striking match because it doesn't happen that often. That's what
Yeah.
people think is you see that video and you go, this is what they always do, and it's not. It's always so
Yeah.
much more calculated than that. There's a lot of wrestling. There's a lot of grappling. Like I said, in that one fight the dude just pinned him up against the cage and stepped on his toes for 45 minutes, and it was like, dude, this is the worst. Sorry, excuse me. And then, but yeah, so we saw this clip, and so I was just rolling through, and I saw this clip of these two dudes literally just wailing on each other, like both dudes just catching haymakers, getting the wobbly, stanky leg, staying on their feet, swinging back, and then just trading shots in the final moments of a fight. And that's exactly what you want to see, especially on an off night. But yeah, those are the things that earn those guys chances to then fight on like an event night on a title fight card. They bring a crowd, they bring views, and then all of a sudden they'll start yelling out, "Dana fucking pick me!" Like they'll start calling themselves out, and then all of a sudden they have a fight against somebody also on the rise, and then that's how you kind of climb that ladder. Is you just kind of like a pool. So, but yeah, so that was solid that we got to see a good solid highlight. But yeah, coming up this Saturday is the Alex Pereira fight. So he is just a monster. He is, I believe, a middle heavyweight. I could definitely be wrong because I'm still way off on like the intricate details, but I'm all for people beating the shit out of each other tactfully. But yeah, it's Pereira fighting Roundtree Jr. Julian Pena fights that night. Jose Aldo fights that night, and AJ's new favorite or UFC fighter Kevin Holland fights Saturday night. We gave him an auto assigned UFC fighter just so that he had somebody. And I told him, I said, I think you're really going to like this guy. And showed him a clip of him. And AJ said, yeah, you're right. That could be my guy as of now. Officially, until I get to see him fight, that's my guy. So,
For yeah, he seemed funny as shit, so that was cool. But,
yeah.
I gotta be honest with everybody that you sent me that clip of that fight, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. I don't know, it's just not for me.
Yeah, just he
I've
said,
never
I just
really,
don't
even
get it.
fight videos, like, I've just never been into them.
See, mine is like when it's a good solid fight, I like it. When it's just somebody getting sucker punched, they hit their head on the concrete and they're throwing up the hand. Like I don't love those because I'm like, dude, like even if I wanted to fight somebody, like I feel like seeing so many of those, I'd have the wherewithal to be like, all right, let's fucking fight over there in the grass. Like let's fight over there so nobody ends up with permanent fucking brain damage. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to hit their head on a curb. That's crazy. But yeah, I mean, two consenting adults with some gloves, like go off,
No.
sis.
I 100% get the appeal of it. It's
That's
just
yeah,
not
that's you.
for me.
Yeah.
Like, I
It was the way you.
understand where it
It was
comes
the
from.
way you worded. You said as intense as that is, I just don't get it. You said it's just
Yeah.
not. You said it doesn't trick anything for me. I watched that. I watched that probably 5 times before I sent it to you. I just was like, oh my god.
Yeah. When I watched it, I was like, okay,
That's what they're
cool.
supposed to do. Two guys
Yeah,
beating each other up. Like that's
yeah.
what's expected.
And then like, and look, I get it. I'm a NASCAR fan. Do you know how many times I've heard, "Oh, all they do is turn left"? I've heard it all my life. I get it. I understand. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I
Doesn't need
grew
to
up giving
be.
those jokes, but I knew I was
So
going to eventually pay attention to it. I was like, it's so fucking high speed racing. Like these dudes are doing a buck 50 plus
yeah,
and
and
running
like
into each other. Like
yeah, and like you said, like two consenting adults. Like yeah, I understand these guys have spent months
months
training for
training.
this
Yeah,
fight.
yeah, yeah, yep.
The pure athleticism that's involved in it
Insane.
is insane. It is. I'm certainly not getting into the ring with any of them.
No, no, no. And
And
it's things like that, like hearing their calculation of a fight to be like, I knew in the second round after he threw his third strike, he was gonna want to lean into a left right kick or whatever, and they're like, I was
yeah,
waiting for it, and that's when I hit him. Like you hear then a clip of them saying that before the fight, and then they do it, and it's like that's fucking
yeah,
crazy. Like they were like, I'm gonna go for the first 2 rounds and let this dude just beat the shit out of me because I know he's gonna lower his left hand in the third round, and I am gonna just clear him. And like you said, I'm sure that that's the same for racing though. Like they're planning for it's like the Bill Belichick strategy of like, I'll
yeah,
let you have the first 3 quarters because I got minute 12 in the fourth quarter
right,
planned, and you're fucked. Like you're so fucked.
yeah, yeah. For the record, the Padres just hit a home run to
I
go
was
up
wondering what
4-0.
I was wondering what your face was because I was like, we're
Yeah,
at halftime in WNBA, and I didn't switch back over to baseball, so I was like, what was that face for?
yeah, just watching baseball. Anything
Nice.
else to add to UFC?
Yeah, nothing else for that. Like I said, yeah, we just got a big fight weekend coming up. I'll definitely be checking that out Saturday night. Yeah, excited for that. But yeah, nothing else other than that. Um, moving right
Moving right
along.
along, yeah, we'll hop
Moving
over
right
to
along.
NHL. Just touch on it because we won't talk about it Friday or Thursday night and the Friday. NHL regular season does start with a little European series. They have two games, one Friday and one Saturday. Um, and they're in Europe. Those are regular season, and then every other game, Friday, Saturday, and then Tuesday.
Thank you
No,
for
Monday
explaining that to the
is
people
the
who wouldn't
preseason.
have otherwise understood it, AJ.
It's all
I
good.
mean, these people that
Um,
just aren't NHL experts. I took me
yeah,
10 minutes to understand why there was preseason games after regular season games, and AJ cleared it up for me.
yeah. So it's just that little like preseason opener. The NHL is trying to expand over to Europe, which like
Everybody
I
else is
don't really understand why because they have European hockey over there.
true.
So
Is that like it is for basketball, like where the rest of the world is just catching up, but it otherwise was dominantly
um,
us, or did they have like real hockey players
no, I
otherwise?
would argue for a lot of it, it's us catching up to them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they allow younger players to play over there. So like
Yeah.
you can have like a
That
16
That
year old
Luka
signing a
Doncic shit.
contract, yeah,
Yeah.
for professional hockey.
Coming in as a 20-year
Um,
old full professional with a family, a kid, and a mortgage. And you're like, this kid, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking grandpa. It's like,
yeah,
what?
yeah. So it is very different, and there's some guys because look, it's so much bigger over there than it is in the states, and particularly the North America because the United States doesn't turn out a bunch of players.
Right.
That a lot of guys go over there and play. Where I would argue there's some leagues that are just as big, if not bigger, than the NHL.
Wow. Okay, cool. Where is Gretzky from?
Oh, Wayne Gretzky? I have no idea.
Are you typing it in already?
Yeah.
Okay. Figured.
I imagine he's Canadian, but let's find out. Yeah, Canadian.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that sounds good. Then I am excited for that. I get the European game thing though. Like that makes sense. Like I said, try to expand knowledge. But yeah, I mean, like you said, yeah, if they have bigger leagues over there, that'd be weird as hell for like a Mexican football league to be like, we're gonna drop a football game on a Tuesday night here for you guys. Like, no, we're not gonna watch that shit. Like,
Right.
we are not gonna watch that
Yeah.
shit, dude. Like, we are not gonna
I
watch that.
didn't look up where they were playing, so that might matter too if they were playing in like maybe Western Europe instead
Somewhere
of
that doesn't
Eastern.
have hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, that might explain it a little more. Um, but let's see. It doesn't. It doesn't even tell you the location of that game. Okay.
Interesting.
Thanks ESPN for nothing.
Thanks, ESPN. Yeah, the NBA season also. I said I don't think we have too much other than for the NHL. So we had talked about those European games. Then the season starts on is it Tuesday the 8th or Tuesday or Wednesday the 8th?
Uh,
It's on the
sorry,
8th.
we moved to basketball.
No, I did, but
Oh,
then I jumped back to hockey because I'm lazy and I'm sloppy and I went too far ahead.
oh, okay.
Because I was thinking
I
about that.
believe
That's
it
yeah.
does. The
Excited.
regular season starts the 8th with like 3
The
games.
ACS. So next Tuesday is
And
start of
just before we
NHL.
move
True
on,
start.
just because it's one of those things that with the time difference, you might actually be able to watch it. 10 a.m. start for the hockey game. Um,
That's right.
I don't know what channel it's on. I didn't look at that before I closed it. But, a lot of people are up at 10 a.m. College football starts at noon, so you have 2 hours before you might actually be able to catch the game.
That's on Saturday, right? Is there a game Friday and Saturday, or is it Saturday and
There's a
Sunday?
1 p.m. game Friday.
Friday and a
So,
game Saturday as well. Is it the same two teams?
yeah, they flip. Technically, the home and away teams flip.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. It's a neutral site.
Yeah, you're
It
in
says
a
it's
way.
on
Okay.
NHL Network, so you probably won't be able to see it anyways.
Cool.
Unless you're
I may, I was, I may,
package.
I may have that in the YouTube TV sports brackets. Honestly, not sure, but
If not, I'm not gonna say you could watch it somewhere else
in
online.
2024,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
Jack Sparrow is my favorite pirate of the
it
Pirates of the
could
Caribbean.
be found
Just
somewhere.
saying,
Yeah.
completely unrelated. My favorite pirate ever.
If you do sail the high seas, props to you. I'm proud of you.
Facts,
And,
yeah.
cheers.
Our matey. Yep, good stuff. That's gonna be. I want that to be a bit always. Whenever someone's like, "Where do I watch this fight?" and like, just hit up Jack Sparrow. That's what I'm gonna say every time. I hit up Jack Sparrow. They're gonna be like, "Who the fuck?" I'm like, "Pirate it."
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, no, NHL's getting geared up. That's good to see. Regular season start overseas. Preseason finishes out a little bit, and then Tuesday the 8th, regular season is full fledged, running full speed. Like we talked about just a little bit, NBA preseason is starting on Friday the 4th. They also have games like that are in Europe. I believe it is Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
It is. It is Boston and Denver. And then, if I read it correctly, the New Zealand team is playing Utah, and then Minnesota is playing the Lakers. So I don't know why we have New Zealand playing Utah, unless I read that wrong, or if
New
they.
Zealand plays Philadelphia on Monday, October 7th. Is that what your notes have? Then they play
Nope.
Oklahoma City on the 10th, according to ESPN.
I had a different one. That's interesting. I definitely. Yeah, I have New Zealand at Utah for Friday, October 4th.
Oh,
And
it is there too. Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, then Minnesota at Lakers. So yeah, so
Yeah.
it sounds like two normal-ish games for Friday night. But yeah, Boston at Denver technically, but in Abu Dhabi. I think that's the only game over there. That's on noon on NBA TV. So I definitely have that with my sports package.
Yeah.
Just excited for the season to be back. But otherwise, it starts on the 22nd. So at some point throughout the preseason, we'll do like an NBA preview episode. But not right now. We'll leave it be because there's not really too much to cover at this current moment.
You don't want to mention LeBron and Bronny?
I mean, there is a bunch to cover technically. There's lots of off-season things going around. A huge trade, real quick. Want to mention that Cat to the Knicks, like that was out of nowhere. Players all seem to be just a surprise. But I mean, yeah, Braun and Bronny being on the court together, having a post-game press conference, kind of talking shit about one being out of bounds and a foul that one wasn't called, and LeBron giving him, "Man, you a rookie, shut up," kind of talk. Like that's so cool to see. Like I could not even imagine the feeling that they've got to have, like they now work together in a professional, like that. It's just, yeah, I'm excited to see it play out regardless of how good the kid does. Like it's just cool to see.
Where's Dad for that matter? Is the cliff coming?
Is the what?
The cliff coming?
What cliff?
The metaphorical cliff that people fall off of with age.
I think it's different because he lives in a lab. I think he goes home and sleeps in like a laboratory in his basement that's just like scientists and shit that haven't seen the light of day in years. And like
he's in all
he's
those,
eating
sleep chambers and
cryo chambers and shit. Like, yeah, he comes home and is like, "Good night, family," and just like heads down to the basement and is just recovery until the morning. Yes, yeah. LeBron wants to be Iron Man someday, so yeah, good for him. But yeah, I mean, at this point too, he's got Bryce coming in, and Bryce. That's what everyone fails to realize too, is that Bryce is technically the better basketball player between Bryce and Bronny. Like he's bigger, he's longer, he's faster. Like he is a forward baller kind of player. If he lengthens out and adds some weight, like he's a baller. Like Bronny is undersized like a motherfucker, and technically plays the two, is going to be forced to play the one, which he needs to be even quicker for, and it's just doesn't really have the shooting for a two, but doesn't have the speed for a one, and is undersized to begin with. So like, yeah, he's got an uphill battle, but he's got some okay genes to work with. So I mean, and also can go downstairs to his dad's Dexter's laboratory for his own recovery. So there's always that too, where he gets the same meal and recovery and all that shit too. So the kid could really, really blossom. So Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely excited. That's what it said. I'm excited to get like a whole episode dedicated to NBA recaps of the summer, off season trades, all that good stuff, and then current things, previews, what we got going on for this year, the Olympics, everything. Let's see,
Yeah,
I'm super excited to dive into the NBA stuff.
gotcha. And for the record, the game in San Diego did go final. Padres 4, Braves 0. Ninth inning just ended. So
But
San Diego didn't even have to play.
didn't even have to play.
So yeah, San Diego takes the lead 1-0 in that series, and I believe it's a best of three.
Yeah, yep, best of three for the first round there.
Uh,
Also, too, I did have that written down too. Game two's all tomorrow. Love to see that too.
yeah,
MLB
they go
has their
back to
shit
back.
organized as
Yeah,
well. Yeah, it's perfect. 2:30, 4:30, 7:30, 8:30. So starting at 2:30 tomorrow. I'm gonna be at work, a little bored, so I might throw on some baseball. Watch that, see what's up.
there you go. Do we want to jump into the NFL? We do have a few things we can talk about off the field.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it.
First, I think this is kind of the first off the field headline that I noticed this week. Von Miller suspended 4 games.
Yep.
So,
I would say
what we
more
found out.
importantly than that is the Devonte Adams trade
Yeah.
request.
No, I was getting there. We're burying the lead a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I thought
Devontae
we were
Adams.
leading with the big one, but yeah, no, I mean I agree though that the Von Miller one like that because it said it was an off season issue that had happened, and
Yeah.
if I read it correctly, it was assaulting a female, which feels like depending on the situation, 4 games might not be justified. Like
Right.
that
Yeah.
seems a little light depending on the situation, considering you're a 200 some pound athlete.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel like they should get extra penalty for their size. I know that sounds stupid, but like if you're gonna be a weapon as your body, you need to know how to control it
Yeah.
better. And again, like I wasn't
Assault with
there,
a
I don't
deadly
know.
weapon is your fist.
Basically, like
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, there needs to be like a middle ground, like before that, but after assault, like there needs to be a middle gray area there for like, okay, dude, you're a fucking freak athlete, like that, you're
Yeah.
obviously going to win any fight you're in that's not against like a trained fighter. So yeah, like keep your hands to yourself, as I tell my 5-year-old. But yeah, so that I feel like the Bills were surging, and now that kind of puts a damper in that. Losing Sunday night,
Yeah.
losing Von Miller, like that's a rough head into Week 5 for the Bills.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with you on that one.
And
I
who
think
do the
that's
Bills
most
play?
of the off the field stuff.
Oh, so yeah, that and then like we said, the Devonte Adams trade request. That I was going to argue basically that could end up being bigger news than the Von Miller suspension,
Oh, absolutely.
depending on where he goes. If he
Yeah.
stays in the Raiders, and like who cares? If he gets traded to the Panthers, who gives a shit? But like he could end up on the Chiefs, he could end up on the Jets, he could end up on
Yeah.
the Saints. Like there
There's
are a
a lot of
handful of
teams.
teams that
Yeah.
he could be crazy dangerous on,
Yeah.
and he's gonna walk after this year anyway. So the Raiders are gonna take whatever anybody offers. So
Right. Uh,
yeah, I'm happy
Personally,
as a Bronco fan to see the dysfunction. I love it. Couldn't
yeah,
be happier.
not surprising. I don't know. I was just kind of looking through some of the trade rumors earlier, and the Bills seem to make a lot of sense to me. I was
Yeah,
looking. Basically, they were mentioning teams that are hopeful for their playoff chances could use the wide receiver. A wide receiver one coming in. Um,
yeah, that's crazy.
get that influx. And
Yeah,
yeah,
Devontae
I
is
think
still producing. Like that's still
right.
because the other thing too is that with the trade deadline coming up, is DeAndre Hopkins could still get moved
The
because that
yeah,
that's always going to be there because he does not want to be dying on the Titans. Like
right.
that's not what he wants to be.
The other team that came to mind to get him out was the Commanders to get him out of the AFC. If you're
That would be
the
yeah.
Jets, I wouldn't be shocked by that news either.
Yeah, I was gonna say I believe like Al Davis and Dan Snyder had a relationship, but obviously Dan Snyder isn't in control anymore, so that doesn't
Right.
really help that. But I
Yeah.
believe that because like the whole Gruden thing and Shanahan's and all that, like they've had their fair share of relationships. But
Yeah. Other teams we saw were the Jets, the Chiefs, the Packers. Um, um,
Packers,
yeah, I mean Packers. I guess it depends on how much faith you have in Jordan Love.
yeah,
I think because Christian Watson got hurt, so you are down a receiver. He could be used, could
yeah.
be helpful. I'd be really curious what the asking price is from the Raiders. I was thinking about
I was
that
a,
today.
I think they said second round pick, but I don't know if
Yeah,
that's. Like,
I was thinking a first and then a late round pick as well.
yeah, I think they said second round pick and then like other considerations or something, or other compensations, so probably
Yeah,
like cash or whatever to like
right.
offset contract issues or whatever, like sign somebody else. But
Yeah,
yeah, I am. I'm excited to see where he goes. Let's see. I always hate when good players are on shitty teams. Like I don't love the super team idea all the time, but like yeah, I'd much prefer to see a good player be on a good team. Like
right.
DeAndre Hopkins' career just dying in Tennessee is such a shame to see. Like put that man with a real quarterback. Because I was even gonna make a joke about like, oh, send Devontae to the Broncos, but like I don't even fucking want that because that's just a waste for Devontae.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
who's throwing him the ball? So yeah, to keep him out of Denver, like what's the point?
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, yeah, we don't have too much other NFL news that I saw. Anything other crazy that was going on?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. We just have kind of our week 5 Thursday night game to touch on though, and that looks to be a good one.
It does. I think a surprise, right? Nobody expected these teams to be where they're at.
I think the Bucks were supposed to be where the Falcons currently are, and the Falcons were supposed to be down where the Panthers were.
Yeah.
And somehow the Falcons are just, they got all that hype right before the season started, and then the Bucks came out strong and obviously fumbled a dumb game against the Broncos, but otherwise would be 4-0 right now.
Yeah. Um, yeah. It's should be a good game. It is in Atlanta, so I guess Atlanta has the home field advantage there, which tends to mean something on Thursday night games.
Yeah.
With the short week having to travel, so
Yep. I mean, it is a short distance travel, luckily for
yeah,
Tampa, and it's also in the dome, so you don't have to worry about any of the weather or anything. But with the rain and everything in Florida and Georgia, North Carolina right now, that could actually
yeah,
affect travel and everything for them. So,
yeah, absolutely. I think we would be ignorant if we don't mention the flooding down south.
yeah.
Pray for all of those people. Donate if you can. The American Red Cross is on the scene doing what they can. Western, yeah, Western North
Western North
Carolina.
Carolina,
Yeah,
it's
just
crazy right now.
yeah. I saw today. I saw a bunch of the NASCAR guys have their personal helicopters, company stuff,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I
trucks
saw that
taking
one. Yep.
flatbeds out. So
Yep. That baby
yeah,
blue helicopter full of water. I saw
yeah,
that post. Yeah, I forget who it was, but yeah,
yeah.
somebody was like, yeah, it's like I'm bringing as much water as I can fit. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, it's
So
wild right now, and it's. I saw that there's apparently another hurricane brewing in the Gulf that's apparently supposed to hit,
yeah,
and
it's
everyone
supposed to be like
kind
a
of forgot to
tropical storm.
yeah, forgot
Yeah,
to mention that there's another one coming in, and so yeah, it wouldn't be as devastating as it would be on its own, but after this one, it's just going to add
right.
to the already
Yeah,
flooding and stuff. So like, it makes it so much
yeah.
more dangerous.
I guess
So
I didn't. I mean, I know we live in Pennsylvania, so we're kind of removed from it, but I
yeah,
didn't realize that like Western North Carolina got like 18 to 24 inches of rain in like a 24-hour period.
yeah, that's an 8 hour drive, 9 hour drive is not that long. Like that's not
Right?
that long of a
Yeah,
drive. Like that, like we probably
yeah.
got a few inches, but we're more mountainous and
Right.
prepared for the
Had it
water
broken up.
management. Like
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, over a week, fucking 8 days of rain nonstop. But
Yeah. We're hopefully coming to the end of for all of our fellow
that's yeah.
Pennsylvanians.
I'm at the point now where I'm teaching the boys how to use the weather app. Like every time they come over, like, can we see the weather? I'm like, yes. This many more days of rain, dude. We can go outside on Wednesday. I
Yeah.
promise. Yeah, I'm so excited for a 73-degree cold day. Like I just, oh my goodness, I just
Yeah.
get me some sunshine and dry roads.
Yeah. But turning our attention back to football, let's see. Atlanta, 2.5 point favorites, over under 42.5. What you got?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Oh, sorry, that's what it opened at. Atlanta's now down to 1.5 point favorites.
Got it. Okay,
Over under
cool.
is at 43.5.
Okay, that's what I wrote down earlier, and I was like, wait, did the spread change already? And I was like, damn. Yeah, I think I like the Bucks in this one. I think I like Baker. I like their offense. I think they're clicking. Um, who did they just beat this week?
The Eagles.
Oof. Ouch. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
trust
I
me, I
was like,
wanted to forget about it too.
yeah, I was like, damn, who did they just beat like convincingly? And
Yeah,
yeah, no, yeah, they look good. I think the Falcons are for real, so I think that them being 2-3, like for real for their stature. So I think them being 2-3 is it kind of sucks for them because they should be better than that. But you're playing a good Bucks team, so I think the Bucks move to 4-1. Obviously, then I'm thinking not the spread there for the Falcons, but I do think it'll be a high scoring game. I think definitely both teams are in the high 20s, high 30s. Like I think this is one of those. I cannot imagine 43 being the spread and being a low scoring 20 to 20 or whatever, or 20 to 7. I think both teams are getting in the end zone a few times, but I think the Bucks offense just ends up being too much for the Falcons to handle.
Gotcha. Um, yeah, I'm actually the opposite. Uh,
Interesting.
I I do think Todd Bowles' defense shows up, but I think Atlanta's defense shows up as well. Um, and I would take the under. I don't trust Atlanta to cover a point and a half, though. It's a little sketchy for me.
Yeah,
I think a 20-21 game is,
very possible.
very
14,
possible.
14, 13,
Yeah, something like
12,
that.
10, or 20. Yeah, I guess that would cover. But
Um, but yeah, I take Atlanta money line. Don't take the cover of 1.5. So I guess in that case, I'm taking Tampa Bay plus 1.5. And yeah, on the under.
cool. All right, well then, yeah. I will get a post up here. It'll get posted Tuesday night at some point to the Couple of Sports Facebook page. So definitely check that out. We appreciate that. It seems dumb. It seems silly. If you scroll by it, literally comment anything. It helps. Throw in your guess. It's free to do. We'll give somebody a $5 three-leg parlay courtesy of us on DraftKings. You pick the three legs. We'll put the $5 in. If it wins, the money's yours. But yeah, so
Sweet.
it's free to you for you. It's engagement for us. Tag a friend, share it, share that post. I'm having fun with it doing the AI generator. It's super goofy. Some of the bloopers that we have, like AJ and I get a good laugh out of some of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so yeah, so it's a good one too. It's a good cadence. It's a good part of our cadence that we'd like to have. So after this episode, AJ gets everything uploaded, and I start creating some AI photos for a good laugh before the night ends. And then, but yeah, again, it's Wednesday morning when you're listening to this, more than likely. So if you can, if you have a minute, run over to our Facebook page, check out the AI photo, throw us a guess for what you got for Bucks Falcons score for Thursday night, and we would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it as well. Echo everything he said. And I'll wrap us up here with a fun fact, unless you have anything else to add.
Um, nope, I think that was it. I covered pretty much everything I had. Yeah, I covered. I've got everything on my notes. I am good to go. Feeling good going into Thursday night with a live stream. And that again will be on my personal Facebook page. Our 60-day mark will be early November for Cup of Sports. We'll hit live as the moment we can. We'll go live on Cup of Sports. Until then, it'll be on my personal Facebook. But again, come hang out, come give us some engagement. We appreciate it. Talk some shit, argue with us, disagree with us. Let us know what you heard and you thought was dumb. What dumb
Please.
takes do we have? But yeah,
Yeah.
come let us know.
Tell me how
Um,
stupid I was for taking the under in the Thursday
yeah,
night
yeah,
game.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's yeah, all that good stuff. Come let us know what you have, what we said that was dumb. Tell us about baseball things we said wrong, whatever else. That's yeah, we're here for it. We're here to learn, but also the engagement will help. So we appreciate it. But all right, we're up to you then. You give me a good fact here.
All right. Shaquille O'Neal made 11,330 shots in his NBA career,
And
and
only
only one was a three pointer.
I didn't know that
He
stat
was
actually.
1 for 22 in his career.
I remember there's a video I encourage everyone to go find if I'm remembering it correctly, is them asking him how many he made in his career, and he's like, I think like 12 or 13 or 14, and they're like, he made one. He's like, that's wrong. Check it again. He's like, that's wrong. And he was like, wow, we shot a couple, and they're like, you shot 22. And he's like, no way was I 1 for 22. I'm pretty sure that like the order of events in that interview, I think I saw it kind of chopped and pieced up, but yeah, I think they quizzed him on that at one point, and yeah, he had one. I think Dwight Howard is like that too, where he's got like a handful of threes, and it's but a ton of points, and it's all just from slamming in people's face. Pause. Alrighty, well, yeah, that is all I got. I thank you.
Dwight Howard.
Confirmation, I love it. We definitely need Brad to start paying attention. I know he said he didn't want to be on the episodes, but if he could just like hang out, Brad, when you listen to this tomorrow or tonight, if you're up, we're gonna need you on standby for live stat tracking. Brad,
ESPN's less than helpful, so I don't really
I'm
know.
gonna do hashtag Brad knows best, and then he's gonna fall in love with that, and he'll be like, "All right, fine, I'll do it."
Yeah, maybe.
Dwight Howard 3-point made. Dwight Howard made 22 threes in his career.
Yep, 22 shots from downtown.
Is that what it was? 3-point? Yeah, 22. many do you have attempted? Damn it. These stat websites suck.
Yeah, I don't know how you statisticians do it, but
Yeah,
probably
I'd
there's
get pissed at the lack
yeah,
of data. That shit would dry. Yeah, I'd be like, all right, I quit. You're telling me I gotta guess for some of this stuff?
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that too over the summer with that whole John Stockton's points being or his assists being like
oh yeah,
estimated and shit. They were giving him hockey assists and shit, and it was
yeah,
like, dude, like we need AI to go back and rewatch all these games and give us accurate fucking stats.
for sure.
All right,
All
everyone,
right,
have a good rest of your Wednesday. We appreciate you. We will see you guys tomorrow night. Come hang out for the live Bucks Falcons game.
appreciate y'all. Later.
Take care.